Okay, so the workplace charging tool is actually fairly straightforward. Once you have the locations of these people, and then you know how many long-range PEVs, which include BEVs over 150 miles range, or PHEVs, that's a long-range PEV, and then the short-range PEV is BEV is below 150. So you make that distinction, and that's affected by the commute distance. So once you have those distributions, you want to find out where they go. So let's just say you had 10 plug-in electric vehicles and that you had the distribution of what you wanted them to be, or you had the breakdown of the long range and short range. Within the market, or within the workplace charging tool, you can assign what kinds of vehicles fit into those categories. And so let's say you wanted to do a scenario, let's say it was 50-50 in a certain block group, and then you wanted to assign a breakdown of those. So 50% of those long-range PEVs would be a Volt type thing with 40 miles range, and then 50% would be a 200-mile BEV. That would be your two bins. And then for a short-range PEV, you would put in whatever battery sizes you were assuming for that. And so you can put in what you expect to exist in the zone for the whole state, just like some averages, which Wei will show you if that doesn't make sense. Or you can assign per block group what you assume each block group is going to be. And that's useful if you actually have, for example, CVRP data, and you want to run a current scenario, and you know exactly where people are, kind of. You can put that specific scenario in as well. Or if you came up with another distribution. So what the loads data does, and this is a census-based tool, is I think it's based, as far as I can understand, this is the census's attempt at connecting home to work, and I think they use tax records. So they know where you live, and they know where you work, and then they make that, take those data to create a very, very large origin-destination matrix. And we take the California set of that, and so we know how many people go from this zone to this zone on a block group basis for the entire state of California. So it's fairly detailed. And then with those, we look at some of those behaviors based on our research. So for example, if it's free workplace charging, every vehicle charges at work. They switch from home to work to the amount possible. So if you were a BEV 80 with 15-mile commute, you would charge 30 miles per day at work. If you were a PHEV 20 with 15-mile commute, you would charge 15 miles at work and 15 miles at home, and it matters how big your battery is, how much you can actually arbitrage or take advantage of this. If it's the same price as home, the BEV 80 will actually only do half of its charging at work, but the PHEV 20, because it's still cheaper than gas, will do the same thing as free work charging, kind of the 15 and 15. But if it's paid, you'll see that the person who can complete their journey all on home electricity will not charge at all, and then the PHEV 20 with a 15-mile commute will still charge 15 miles per day because it's still cheaper than gas. And so you see this, it makes a lot of difference depending on your battery size, and what you put in for your batteries will change your scenarios and the need for charging. What you get is you can get a number of charges by census block group, or you can get number of kilowatt hours expected in these zones. And so this is free work charging example in San Francisco Bay Area. So that's San Francisco off to the left, and then Oakland off to the right, and those are two employment centers. And this, I think this one is kilowatt hours. We just put low and high, but I think in fact it is a number of kilowatt hours you would expect from workplace charging. And so this could be useful for power distribution, for example. So I'll let, it's very simple, straightforward. I'll let Wei run through the tool.
Okay, so for the workplace charging tour, the idea is the same. So here I have the tour. Here I have the tool here. So it just has one step. The first, also you need to create a workplace for the results. Like this. And then the input data that we use is those data, so it has the commute information. I can show you here. So this one, actually the demo is a regional model, so we just use the commute trip that its destination is within the SCAC region. So yeah, if you're interested in other region, you can just select specific records from the load data that has destination in the interested regions. So it has the work location, the home location, and the total number of jobs. So which means the number of people that are traveling from this region to this block group to this block group, and the distance between these two block groups. So all of this four data is in the load data. So you just need to select the interested data that you want to analysis. And then here I will input the distance. And here, the PV ownership will be the results from the market tour. And let's say that there are 10 people traveling from block group A to block group B. We will not expect that all of them will drive a PV or at least every day drive a PV. So you can see that only 70% of them will drive PV every day to work. Or you can change this number to any number you want. And here we have the PV scenarios. So like in the market tour, we have the results of like how many of them will buy long-range PV or long-range BEV or short-range BEV. Here you can define what specific mode they are driving and the range of each mode and the split ratio. So like from the market tour, it says this block group has 10 people to buy a long-range PEV, and here I can see that within the 10 people, only 50, 10 is a small number, but 4 of them will buy a 4, and 2 of them will buy a Chevrolet Force, something like that. And the efficiency will be the miles per kilowatt hours. And this is for like general scenarios. You can also define this for each block group or any spatial scale that you are interested in. And you put this number here. And because it's a regional model, so you need to tell us how many people are there in each block group. So here we do a simple statistic to say that how many people are living each, how many employees are living in each block groups. And if you have some new data, you also need to update this data set to make sure the results is correct. And here you can say that what is the price to charge at work. If it's free or it's paid, means it's higher than charge at home. Or if you don't choose any of them, will be the price to charge at work is exactly the same as charge at home. And here we have 2 more parameters. One is the state of charge threshold. So people will only charge at a workplace when the state of charge is below this threshold. So if it's it's a very short commute trip, like 2 miles, then people will not charge at work. And because even like probably this commute trip takes 10 miles or 20 miles, then they don't need to charge every day. So you can say that people will charge at least twice, at least every 2 days.
Yeah, this the reason we put this in there is because we find that BEVs, if they live very close, even if it's free, it's a hassle to plug in. And so if it's like 2 miles away, they can go back and forth like twice. And so that makes some of the results a little more matching what people actually do.
Yeah, and if you click OK, the model will run, and here's the results looks like. So it will be, all the results are saved into the attribute table. So it has, for each block group, how many people would charge there, and because we have the area of that part, here is the polygon, is the block group, so we can calculate the density, which is the kilowatt hours per square miles, and the number of charging events in each block group. So if you're interested in some visualization, you can do the same thing here. So this is just for SCAC region, so yeah, you can zoom in to see that there's more demand appears here, and yeah, basically that's the idea of this tour. Any questions?
I don't see him here, but let me unmute.
The conference has been unmuted.
Just to make the most of the steps that Wei showed you, you don't have to do, because the data is there. Just if you would like to change the data,
Right, yeah.
you need to go into the data sets and start tweaking with the numbers. You just take what we have today, you can just hit run and play only with the interface,
Yeah.
the ARC interface.
Yeah, to change the parameters on the interface.
Any questions online? Okay, yeah, great. Thanks, Wade.